Chapter 2 Hello again. In this chapter, for example, if you see a dog, you can say the dog is big and brown, it has a fluffy tail. This helps you practice speaking and using new vocabulary. Try to use English in your everyday life. If you go to a shop, try to speak English with the cashier. If you talk to your friends, try to use simple English phrases. The more you practice, the more confident you will feel. Speaking English with confidence is important. Even if you make mistakes, keep talking. Confidence helps you improve faster. Remember, no one speaks perfectly all the time, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep trying and never give up. You can also use apps to practice speaking. Many apps have speaking exercises and games that can help you practice English. Some apps even allow you to talk with native speakers. This is a great way to practice real-life conversations and get feedback. Another way to practice is by reading out loud. You can read a book, an article, or even a simple sentence out loud in English. This helps you practice pronunciation and get used to speaking English. It's also helpful to practice speaking about different topics. Start with easy topics like your family, hobbies, or your favorite food. As you improve, you can talk about more difficult topics like news or current events. The more topics you practice, the more confident you will become in speaking English. Remember, speaking takes time and practice. Don't get discouraged if you make mistakes or feel nervous. Every day you practice, you are getting better. Keep speaking, keep listening, and keep learning. In conclusion, speaking English is all about practice and confidence. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Practice speaking every day. Listen to others and use simple sentences. Talk to people, join groups, and describe things around you.
Chapter 3 Hello again. In this chapter, we will talk about how to read English better. Reading is a great way to improve your vocabulary and understanding of the language.
The more you read, the better you will become at understanding and using English. The first tip is to start with easy books. Choose books that are simple and fun to read. You can start with books for children because they have simple language and interesting stories. Books with pictures are also great because they help you understand the story better. Don't worry if you don't understand every word, just keep reading. As you get better, you can try reading books with fewer pictures and more text. Choose stories that interest you because when you enjoy what you are reading, it becomes easier to learn. You can read stories about animals, adventures, or things you like. Another important tip is to read aloud. Reading out loud helps you practice pronunciation and helps you get used to the sounds of the language. When you read out loud, you also remember words better. Try to find a quiet place where you can read aloud without distractions. If you come across a word you don't know, don't worry, this happens to everyone. Just stop, look up the word in a dictionary, and try to understand its meaning. Once you know the word, try to use it in a sentence. This will help you remember it if you don't have a dictionary. You can use a dictionary app on your phone. It's also helpful to read the same book or story more than once. When you read a story more than once, you understand it better. You can also remember new words and sentences. Try reading the same book a few times until you feel comfortable with the language. Don't be afraid to skip words you don't know at first. You can read for the meaning of the story instead of focusing on every single word once you understand the main idea of the story. You can go back and focus on the words you didn't know. This is a great way to improve your reading skills without feeling stuck on one word. Reading is also a great way to learn new words. Every time you read, you come across new vocabulary. Write down the words you don't know and look them up later. Try to use them in sentences. The more new words you learn, the better your English will become. You can also try reading different types of materials. Read newspapers, websites, or magazines. Reading different kinds of texts will help you learn different kinds of vocabulary and sentence structures. This will also help you become familiar with how English is used in different situations. If you don't understand everything, that's okay. It's normal to not understand everything. When you're learning, just keep reading and slowly things will start to make more sense the more you practice the easier reading. Sometimes you don't need to know every single word. Look at the other words around the unknown word and try to guess its meaning. This will help you understand the story or text without having to stop every time you don't know a word. Reading out loud also helps with your listening skills. When you read a sentence, you can imagine how it sounds when spoken. This helps you practice both reading and listening at the same time. Listening to how words are spoken will improve your speaking skills too. You can also try reading with a friend or family member. This way you can practice together and help each other. When you don't understand something, it's fun to read together and talk about what you learned from the story. Sharing ideas with others makes reading even more enjoyable. Try reading in different environments. You can read at home, at the park, or even on the bus. Reading in different places makes it more interesting and fun. It also helps you practice reading in different situations as you get better at reading. You can start to read books for older students or even adults. Try reading news articles or short stories in English. These are a little more challenging, but they will help you grow in your language skills. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first, just keep reading. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you read, the easier it will be. Don't give up if it's hard at first. Keep reading every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Over time, your reading skills will improve and you will feel more confident in your ability to read English. In conclusion, reading is a fun and important way to learn English. Start with easy books and read aloud. Don't be afraid to look up new words and use them in sentences. Read every day and try to read different types of materials. Remember, it's okay if you don't understand everything at first. Just keep practicing. The more you read, the better you will get. Keep going and soon you'll be able to read English fluently.